Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel, UK Reacts. Now, I figured it's about time. You know, I've watched the greatest catches, the biggest hits, the greatest jukes of all time. It's about time I get to know what the rules of this game are. What are the laws of NFL, American football? I feel like after watching this video, I'll have a greater appreciation for what I'm actually watching. It will help give like a little baseline for my understanding of the game, because some things maybe are not that impressive to me because I'm not really sure that it's supposed to be impressive, or it looks weird or like illegal when in reality it's perfectly fine. So I'm expecting this to be real informative video. As always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, continue with your suggestions, recommendations of players and videos that I should watch and react to. I really appreciate it. Honestly, I have this huge list and a long way to go. Let's not waste any more time. Get into the video. All right, headphones are in, video's ready. Here we go.
Nin explains the rules of American football.
Rules of American
The object
football.
of the game is for your team to score more points than the opposing team.
Obviously.
Teams are made up of 46 players in the NFL, with 11 players taking to the field at any one time.
Interesting. Even right there, right off the bat, from rugby, you have 15 players on the field, on the pitch, you know, field for football, American. Then you have 7 players on the bench, on the sidelines. So here, 40 something players, like that's a lot, but only 11 on the pitch. So interesting, a lot more space to work with.
The field is 100 yards long by 53 yards wide, with 2 10-yard end zones at each end. White markings on the field help players, referees and spectators keep a track of what's going on. The game starts with a kickoff.
Alright.
The team with possession of the ball is known as the offense, and the team without the ball is the defense. The job of the offense is to move the ball up the field and try and score points.
Okay.
This can be done by either running forwards with the ball, or by throwing it up the field for a teammate to catch. The offense is given 4 chances, or 4 downs, to make at least 10 yards. If the offense manages to move the ball 10 yards or more, they will retain possession of the ball, whilst given another 4 downs to make another 10 yards. On your TV screen you will see this graphic. This tells you what down the team is on, and this tells you how many yards they need to make.
Alright, just watching the highlights, you know, that was a question in my mind sometimes, like, what are these numbers? You know, so that's good to know. Honestly, it's real helpful to know this, the 4 downs for 10 yards. Because sometimes you see a play where it looks like they just give the man the ball and he runs for a yard and falls down. Sometimes people are happy about it and you're like, why was that a great play? But maybe it's because he crossed the line, gave them 4 more plays to work with. So that is good information.
If you're also watching this on TV, they will also show you the lines they need to cross in order to make their downs.
Nice.
The defense's job is to stop the offense moving the ball forwards by tackling. This includes pulling them to the ground, stopping them from moving forward, or forcing them off the field. If the offense fails to move the ball 10 yards within 4 downs, the ball is given to the defending team at that point. The defending team will then bring on their offensive players and try and move the ball in the opposite direction so that they can score.
Wait a minute though. So the same players do not stay on the pitch for the whole match, the entirety of the match. So you have specialists, you have offensive players and defensive players. I'm not going to lie, it makes it seem a little less brutal of a sport. And let me explain, because I'm not sure how long your games are, but if you're a player, you only play half the game, right? You only play on one side of the ball. Or are there players that do play? Let me know, because in rugby, like, you're playing the whole game. You know, if you're the star player, especially, like you're playing this game on both sides. You have to tackle, you have to be able to do everything, you know. So this is interesting. You have more specialists. I think also, though, that would make them more skilled at their certain technique. Maybe if all you ever play is offense, you're going to be a lot better at offense than if half the time you have to try and tackle someone. On the other side, though, like, the stamina is not as needed in NFL, because not only do you get these breaks in between plays, but you also get to sit down when your defense or offense is not on the pitch, so on the field, sorry. Not that it makes me like lose respect for them, but it takes a little bit of the hardness, if that makes sense, of playing the game out of it for me.
You'll most likely see the offense kick the ball away on 4th down to make it more difficult for the other team to score. Teams will usually have 3 different units of 11 players that come on the field at different times.
3.
They include the offense. These players will usually come on the field when they have possession of the ball. The offensive unit consists of these positions. The quarterback.
Oh man. Alright, I'm glad he's about to explain it because there's so many positions. Like, everyone has a totally unique role, and this is a lot to process. I will probably be watching this video again.
Is the most important player on the field, as he's the one who decides to pass the ball up the field, hand it off to a teammate so that they can run with it, or decide to run with it himself. These offensive line positions are usually responsible for protecting the quarterback. The wide receivers are responsible for running down the field to catch the ball thrown by the quarterback. The tight end is responsible for blocking and also catching the ball in the middle of the field.
Do you have a favourite position?
Let
me know.
Fullback is responsible for
what's the
running
most exciting position in your opinion?
These players will usually come on the field when the other team has the ball. The defensive unit consists of these positions. The defensive line is responsible for moving past the offensive line. The linebackers stop running backs coming through the defensive line, and they're also responsible for attacking the quarterback. The cornerbacks try and stop the wide receivers, and the safeties try and stop the pass up the middle of the field. Special teams. Special teams are specialist players that come on the field when there's a kick involved. Within the special teams is a mixture of offensive and defensive players, mixed with either a punter or kicker for offense.
Alright, so it's not 3 separate 11 units, 11-man units, where each unit plays like a third of the game, but this special teams is a mixture of your defensive and offensive players. So you do have players that play more of the game than other players, so that makes a little sense.
Or a punt returner for defense. Now you know what all the players do and how the game is played. But how do you score? In American football, there's 4 different ways of scoring. Number 1, a touchdown. The main way of scoring is via a touchdown. If the ball is carried into the end zone area, or thrown and caught in the end zone, this is a touchdown and is worth 6 points.
They never touch the ball to the ground,
Unlike in rugby, you don't need to touch the ball down onto the ground. All you have to do is cross the line with the nose of the ball to score. Number 2, extra points. Once a touchdown has been scored, you have the option of kicking it through the uprights for an extra point, or try and pass or run the ball into the end zone for an extra 2 points. Most teams play it safe and go with the 1 point. Number 3, field goal.
Why is that? What makes that a little safer? Let me know.
At any time, the team with the ball can kick the ball between the posts and over the crossbar. To do this, they must hand it to a teammate who will hold it down to the ground, ready for the kicker to make a kick. A successful kick scores 3 points. Number 4, a safety. If the defense tackles an offensive play behind his own goal line, the defending team scores 2 points.
Alright, so the defense can score as well.
Quarters for a combined playing time of 60 minutes.
60 minutes.
High score at the end of 60 minutes wins.
Alright guys, if you saw my biggest hits reaction video, you already know how I feel of the violence and physicality in this sport. I was very open with admitting it is more violent and physical than rugby, but you only play 60 minutes and you don't even play the entire game. Whereas in rugby, you're playing 2 40-minute halves. You're playing 80 minutes. You're playing like 33% longer of your game, and you're playing both sides. So I think in that regard, rugby's a little tougher because of stamina and things of that nature. So there's a little give and take. As far as the violence and physicality, definitely NFL, but it seems like rugby is you need a little more wind to play that game maybe.
Ties are rare in American football, and overtime periods are played if necessary to determine the winner.
Really? Ties are rare?
Different leagues have different rules about tie games. Is that it? Is that all I need to know? Well, you're almost there, but American football is filled with lots of rules, and you'll need to understand a few more of them before playing or watching a game.
Alright.
For example, fumble. If a ball carrier drops the ball, that's a fumble. Any player on the field can recover the ball by diving onto it. The team that recovers a fumble gets possession of the ball.
Alright.
Interception. An aggressive defense can regain possession of the ball by catching or intercepting passes that are meant for players on the other team.
Nice.
Both fumble recoveries and interceptions can be run back into the end zone for touchdowns.
Okay.
Sack. If the defense tackles a quarterback whilst he has possession of the ball, this is known as a sack. This is detrimental to the offense as a down is wasted, and this usually results in a loss of yards. Incomplete pass. If a pass intended to a receiver hits the ground first or is thrown out of bounds, this is ruled an incomplete pass. A down is wasted and play restarts from the spot of the last down.
Alright.
Penalty.
Sorry, I'm not talking too much. I'm trying to process this information. So far, so good. Looks like we are about done, so let's finish it up.
If a player breaks one of the rules, referees will throw flags onto the field. They will determine who made the foul and how many yards his team should be penalised. Challenge. If a coach disagrees with the decision on the field, they can throw red flags onto the field. The previous play will then be reviewed, and if the challenge is successful, the ruling on the field is reversed. If the challenge...
Please let me know. If I was a coach, I'd be throwing that flag every play. There must be a limit to this. In the previous play, that's interesting, a previous point, I should say, are the players thrown out of the game? Are they suspended for the next game? Is there like a yellow card, red card format? Or is it all just yellow flags and the team takes it all like a team penalty type and not a personal penalty, if that makes sense? And this challenge, though, I like the concept. I think there's a lot of sports that could benefit from the ability to challenge a bad call by this official. So I like that. Good on you, NFL.
Challenge is unsuccessful and the ruling on the field stands, they forfeit one timeout.
All right, so there's a...
If a team wants to stop the clock to regroup, take a break,
a reason not to. You
they're allowed 3
don't want to lose your timeout. You only have 3.
Each timeout lasts 60 seconds, and players get a break of 12 minutes at half-time. Now this is a lot to take in, but once you start playing or watching American football, the rules will become clear. If you found this video at all helpful, please like, share with your friends, rate, comment and subscribe.
Yeah.
It takes me ages to make one of these things.
This was a lot of help. Definitely. Obviously, like I said, I am going to have to watch this video probably 2 or 3 more times to really grasp it. But I'm excited to see if any of this knowledge helps me when I'm watching a play. Let me know if there's any other positions or rules that this man did not cover that are important for me to know as a beginner to this sport. I really wish it was football season here in the States. If you didn't know, that's where I'm living now, because I would love to turn on the television and watch a game right now and put my knowledge to use. So I guess I'll just have to watch some more highlight videos. So I'll drop those in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.